Friday evening in Lakeside Haven was supposed to be our escape. Just me, Ethan Johnson, a 32-year-old software developer, and my wife Diana, spending a quiet weekend at the cabin we bought in cash. I thought I knew everything about her after 5 years of marriage. I was wrong. While I prepared the barbecue, I overheard Diana on a phone call. "I can't make it to court next week. Rogers will cover for me. Yes, I already sent him the case files. No, this is important. I need this break." When she saw me listening, she smiled tiredly. "Work stuff, you know how it is." She said it casually, but something felt off. 5 years and you're still as mysterious as the CIA, I joked. She laughed, didn't deny it. All I ever knew was that she worked in the legal field. Whatever that meant, it made enough to buy this lakefront cabin outright. Saturday morning, Diana pulled an old wooden chair from the cabin, a dusty relic from the previous owner. She neatly placed it beside the trash. "We'll take it to the donation center tomorrow." At 6:30 a.m., bang, 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 the door rattled like an earthquake, and there she stood. Wilhelmina Thorne, HOA president, 58, hair like a blonde helmet, dressed in spotless white tennis clothes. The suburban dictator herself. Behind her, as always, the meek note-taker, Bob Patterson. "Violation," she shrieked, waving a camera. "Code 325, no outdoor furniture. This eyesore is destroying our community aesthetic." She snapped photos like a paparazzi possessed. Diana, still in her silk pajamas, stepped out calmly, coffee in hand. "Good morning. Is there a problem?" "This is a violation," Willa screamed. "You'll be fined $100. Diana gave a tight smile, took the citation, read it, then tore it into pieces and dropped them into the trash without flinching. "Oops," she said, sipping her coffee. "Guess I violated another rule." Willa's face went from pale to purple. You can't do that." "I just did. I'll call the police." "Please do. Be sure to tell them it's about a chair." Willa stormed off, screeching, "You'll regret this. I have connections." I turned to Diana. "Are you okay?" She looked focused, not scared. "Ethan," she said, "remember when I said someone would test us one day?" "Yeah, this is it." Then she went inside and locked herself in her office for 2 hours. Sunday morning, 5:47 a.m. My inbox blew up. Second notice. Fine increased to 200. Third notice. You are now on the HOA watch list. Urgent meeting. Problem residents. Then came the fifth email. Anonymous. People like you don't belong here. Leave before things get ugly. Diana calmly scanned the email. "The IP address traces back to Willa's house," she said. She was already typing. But before she could reply, we got support. Dozens of neighbors stepped forward with horror stories. 150 for planting the wrong flower color. $300 fine for mowing the lawn too early. Cops called for walking a dog. Diana compiled the responses and sent a powerful email to all 47 residents. The 100 fine for the chair is invalid. HOA rules only apply to common areas. Fines require signatures from 3 board members. This had none. She signed it simply, "Best, Diana Reynolds." Thursday night, the community center was packed. 45 people showed up. Normally it was 5. Willa stood at the podium with a PowerPoint titled, "The Degradation of Our Community Standards." For 20 agonizing minutes, she ranted about new residents disrespecting authority. Never said our names, but made it obvious. Then Diana stood. "Are you aware that false fines can be considered fraud?" Gasps echoed through the room. "Did you consult the HOA attorney before threatening legal action?" The crowd stirred. "Would you like me to read the 47 violations you've committed, starting with your flamingo collection?" The room erupted. "She has a point. Maybe 6 years is too long," Willa screamed. "You're trying to start a revolt." Diana, still calm. "No, I'm suggesting you follow your own rules." "If that chair isn't gone in 24 hours, Willa shouted, "I'm calling the police. I'll report you for terrorism." Laughter rippled through the crowd, but Diana only smiled. "Please do." On the ride home, I finally asked, "Diana, are you a lawyer?" Something like that, she said. High level? You could say that. You think she'll actually call the cops? Oh, she will. And that smile, calm, dangerous, made my heart pound. Wait, you want her to call the police? Let's just say it would be educational. Sunday morning, 6:45 a.m. Diana was already dressed in business casual, sipping coffee by the window, her face unreadable as she stared at the lake. Why are you dressed up? I asked, still half asleep. Intuition. Will is not the type to wait, she said. Before I could ask more, bang, bang, bang. Police, open up. This is Officer Johnson. The coffee mug shattered in my hand, but Diana didn't even flinch. 7 a.m. on a Sunday for a chair, she muttered. You open the door and I'll be right behind you. I opened it, hands trembling. Two officers stood there, one older, named Johnson, the other younger, Rodriguez, and behind them Willa, wearing her HOA blazer, grinning like she'd already won. Bob was there too, looking miserable. 12 neighbors stood watching, phones out, recording everything. Sir, we received a complaint about harassment and threats. Willa shouted over him. That's him and his terrorist wife. They threatened me, destroyed official documents. Arrest them. Officer Johnson sighed deeply. Ma'am, please step back. Is your wife home? I'm here, Diana said, stepping forward, her voice calm as ever. Good morning, officers. May I ask what specific crime we're being accused of? Destruction of property, threats, terrorism, Willa screamed. Rodriguez tensed at the word terrorism. His hand moved toward his radio. Terrorism, he repeated. She said she'd destroy the HOA, Willa stuttered. I said no such thing, Diana replied. I suggested she follow her own rules. Johnson pulled out his notepad, trying to make sense of it all. What's this about? A chair, Willa yelled. An illegal chair. Johnson blinked slowly. A chair? In their backyard. It's been there 3 days. Rodriguez leaned toward Johnson, whispered loud enough for all to hear. We got called. For a chair. Diana stepped forward. Officers calling 911 for a non-emergency is a misdemeanor under Penal Code Section 148.3. Johnson's eyebrows shot up. You familiar with the law, ma'am? Quite familiar. Also, filing a false report is punishable by up to 6 months in jail. The crowd murmured. Phone zoomed in. Did she just say federal? Someone whispered. A neighbor named Jim stepped forward, Marine Corps cap shining in the sun. Ma'am's right, my son's a prosecutor. You can't just call 911 out of spite. Willa turned on him, furious. Jim Patterson, stay out of this, or I'll remind everyone about your dog. Jim laughed. Go ahead. I've got 3 years of your harassment documented. Maria Santos added, she threatened to have us evicted, said our daughter's violin practice was a violation. Her husband Carlos nodded. She slipped notes under our door at midnight. Our daughter was terrified. Diana listened carefully. That could be stalking. Under California Penal Code 646.9, Rodriguez whispered to Johnson. Should we verify these legal claims? This is getting serious. Johnson was already reaching for his radio. Dispatch, this is Unit 23. We might need a supervisor. Willa's grip on control was crumbling fast. She's lying. They're all in on this. It's a conspiracy. Linda Walker laughed bitterly. You mean the position you've used to find single moms over toys in their yards? More voices joined in. Measured my grass with a ruler. Fined me for the wrong shade of welcome mat. Called cops on my son's birthday party. Diana raised her hand. The crowd fell silent. Mrs. Thorne, would you like me to explain Civil Code 4760 or federal statutes regarding the abuse of process? Willa turned purple. It's not false. She threatened me. I advised you. There's a difference, Diana replied. Phones captured every second. Live stream comments poured in. Karen is getting owned. Who is this woman? Plot twist incoming, Linda shouted. Check her history. 6 years of harassment. Johnson looked overwhelmed. Look, this seems like a civil matter. But Willa screamed. No, do your job. I pay taxes. Diana stayed perfectly still, calm before the storm. Officers, I understand you are doing your job. However, Mrs. Thorne has filed a false report, misused emergency services, made defamatory public statements, and possibly committed harassment. Johnson nodded slowly. Ma'am, I need to see some ID. Of course, Diana said, reaching for her wallet. Before I show you this, I'm giving Mrs. Thorne one last chance to apologize and leave. I'm not apologizing to you. She's bluffing. She's not even legal. Gasps from the crowd. Furious comments lit up the live streams. Diana's smile vanished. Officers, I tried to handle this civilly. She opened her wallet slowly. My name is Diana Reynolds. Here's my identification. Johnson took the ID. His face changed instantly. Oh my God, you're... Rodriguez leaned in, looked, dropped his phone. Is this real? Diana nodded once. Johnson's spine straightened. Your Honor, I'm so sorry. Rodriguez whispered. Federal judge. We almost arrested a federal judge. Live stream comments exploded. Karen called cops on a judge check on Willa. This is wild. Willa stood frozen, mouth open, eyes wide. Her face cycled from red to pale to green. She looked like she might collapse. Diana took her ID back, calmly. Officers Johnson, Rodriguez, thank you for responding, as you can see. This is about a chair on my private property. Johnson stammered apologies, sweat on his brow. We had no idea. The complaint said... Diana cut him off. I understand. You acted on false information provided by Mrs. Thorne. We'll leave immediately. Wait, Diana said firmly. Mrs. Thorne called 911 for a false emergency. She filed a fraudulent police report. Those are crimes. Willa finally spoke. Barely. I didn't know. If I knew you were what? Diana asked coldly. A judge. So you only harass people you think are powerless. I didn't mean it like that. You said I was probably not even legal. Care to explain? Willa dropped to her knees, clutching Bob's arm. I take it back. I'm sorry. Taking it back doesn't erase federal crimes, Diana said calmly. Neighbors now stood proud, vindicated. Sarah Kim cried quietly. 6 years of walking on eggshells, and it's finally over. Some residents who had supported Willa slinked away quietly. Margaret Wilson tried to leave. Diana noticed. For those wondering why I'd let this escalate, Diana said, sometimes the best way to expose abuse is to let the abuser reveal themselves. Mrs. Thorne has done that admirably this morning. A young mom spoke up. Your Honor, she tried to fine me for leaving a stroller on my porch. My baby was sick. Thank you for sharing, Diana said. Every story matters. Johnson finished his radio call. Yes, sir. Federal Judge Diana Reynolds. No, sir. No arrests yet. Yes, sir. It's being live streamed. Someone shouted, this is going on the news. Karen versus a federal judge. Phones recorded. Posts went viral. News vans were already en route. Linda stood tall. 6 years of this. It's finally over. Bob stepped forward. Your Honor, I have more to say. She spent $15,000 on lawyers to sue neighbors, but also on private investigators. She has files on 23 residents, including one on Diana, labeled priority. Diana froze. You knew I worked in law. You tried to find me. Willa sobbed. I thought you were just a lawyer. So you thought bullying a lawyer was fine. By 10 a.m., local news arrived. The hashtag Karen versus federal judge trended nationwide. That night, Diana and I sat quietly. The lake shimmered in the moonlight. She sipped tea from the same mug that had shattered just that morning, now replaced. I finally asked, you hid being a judge for 5 years. She looked at me, peaceful but a little tired. I just wanted to be Diana, not Your Honor, not a target, not a story. I smiled. You are a story, and you just gave this town its first taste of real justice. She leaned back, closed her eyes. The weight of 6 years of silence lifted from the entire neighborhood in one day. Outside, a neighbor walked past with their child. No fear, no fines, just freedom. The chair still sat on the porch, and Diana was finally just Diana.